Sometimes you wake up already tired. Not physically, emotionally. Nothing terrible happened, no big loss, no dramatic moment, and yet you feel drained, heavy, unmotivated, disconnected from things that used to matter. You tell yourself, I shouldn't feel this way, but the exhaustion stays.
Emotional tiredness is frustrating because it doesn't have a clear cause. You're not sick, you're not depressed, your life looks fine from the outside, so when people ask what's wrong, you don't know how to answer. You just say, I'm tired, but that word doesn't come close to what you're actually feeling.
Emotional exhaustion rarely comes from one big thing. It comes from small, repeated moments, holding back what you want to say, explaining yourself too often, being the strong one every time, absorbing emotions that aren't yours. None of these moments feel dangerous alone, but together they quietly drain you.
You can be emotionally tired and still function perfectly. You go to work, you answer messages, you show up. But inside, you're running on reserve energy. You're present, but not alive. And the most exhausting part is pretending that this is enough.
Emotionally tired people are often adaptable. They adjust their tone, their expectations, their needs. They don't want to be a burden. They don't want conflict. They don't want to disappoint anyone. So they shrink themselves just a little, again and again, until there's barely any space left to breathe. This kind of tiredness doesn't disappear with sleep. You can rest for days and still feel empty. Because what you need isn't rest, it's release. Release from constantly managing emotions, from being emotionally available without protection, from carrying more than your share. Emotions you don't express don't disappear. They stay in the body, as tension, as numbness, as exhaustion. You don't feel sad enough to cry. You don't feel angry enough to speak up. So everything stays inside, unresolved. And that unresolved weight is what makes you tired for no reason. Another quiet cause of emotional exhaustion is living out of alignment. Doing things that make sense but don't feel right. Saying yes when your body says no. Pursuing goals that look good but feel empty. Over time, your motivation fades, not because you're lazy, but because your energy is disconnected from purpose.
At some point, you notice something strange. You're not sad, you're not angry, you're just done. Done explaining, done hoping people will understand, done pushing yourself to feel something you don't. This is usually when people think something is wrong with them, but this moment isn't failure, it's a signal.
What your body is trying to say. Emotional tiredness is communication. Your body is saying something needs to change. You're giving too much without recovery. You've ignored yourself for too long. This exhaustion isn't weakness, it's honesty. It's what happens when your system stops cooperating with denial. If you feel emotionally tired for no reason, there is a reason. It just isn't loud. It's built slowly from unspoken feelings, unprotected empathy, and lives that look fine but feel empty. You don't need to become stronger. You don't need to push harder. You need space, boundaries, alignment, and permission to stop carrying what was never meant to be yours. This tiredness isn't the end. It's the moment your inner world asks to be taken seriously.